I'm here with Liz Toohey-Wiese today, and she's making art here in Wells. She's an art professor about wildfires. Tell us about your paintings, Liz.
Here it is. Well, I was just talking about this painting I was working on yesterday. So, yeah, just learning about, people when they're getting evacuated for wildfires, putting their phone number on the side of the horse if they can't evacuate with their animals. Yeah, I don't know, somehow the image of that is like, it's very, very poetic kind of image. And this one I've been working with ash that I collected from the Mount Christie wildfire in Penticton, and trying to make watercolor paint out of it. So I've been experimenting with that a little bit. Yeah, and some of the other images that you see here, these are paintings from this winter. I was living on Galliano Island and was helping out with work parties in a land co-op at the north end of the island and doing fire smarting parties in the winter. So we were cleaning up trails and hiking areas and just, clearing up the brush in the winter when it was a safe time to burn. So we had these giant, 10-foot bonfires in the middle of the coastal rainforest and thought they were pretty interesting images that I wanted to make paintings of.
Your images that you're working off of.
Oh yeah, these are photos that I took at Mount Christie. So this wildfire happened in Penticton last July. It was one of the biggest wildfires in the Okanagan last year. So I hiked up the mountain, and these are some areas that you see where the retardant was dropped, and so all the rocks are still pink. And the other thing about the retardant is I think there's phosphorus in it, so it acts as a fertilizer actually for the plants.
It does.
Yeah, so those areas are so lush and green, and it's so crazy because it's just like this pink and green landscape. And then some of the other things that I saw there that I was really interested in was areas of the trees that were burnt out at the base. So this would have been a tree that was felled, but it just looked like this giant bowl that was burnt out. And then down here is the tree roots from a tree that have been totally burnt out. I thought it looked almost like a dinosaur footprint or something, but the trees would have, burnt underground.
In the duff layer, I think we call these cigars sometimes when they're burning in the middle like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, and just you could see different parts of the mountain, like, some areas where the trees were still standing or still had their pine needles on them here. And then some areas that were just completely bombed out basically. So this probably would have been a higher intensity fire in this area.
That's class 5 fire, yeah.
Yeah, and then I love this too, where the trees get burnt. So they get bent over from the heat. So it's almost like they get kiln dried from the heat. And then maybe that happens because of the wind blowing. I actually don't know. But I thought the areas with all the bent over trees seemed like sculptures almost already.
This one, it was just a ground fire, class 2, maybe 3.
Right.
And here, so you can see the difference between what fire smarting would give you is no avenue for the fire to climb up and become that.
Cool. I have a lot to learn.
You're just starting.
Yeah, just working on some
concept?
sketches. Yeah, just some looking at some of the different images, and then I can show you. These are some of the sculptures I've been working on over here. So this is a burning tree I've just been working on. So I gesso them and then put this watercolor ground on them so that I can paint on them. And these are basically just recreations of things I saw on Mount Christie, or so I've been making these burnt sticks and rocks, basically, out of spray foam, and then carving them and then painting them. So yeah, there's the spray foam there. That's something that's not painted yet. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I've also been thinking about the metaphors in fire. So the transformative aspects of it, and the idea of alchemy, and just sort of more metaphorical approaches to fire. Yeah, this is a recreation of one of the sticks you saw in the picture that was a burnt stick that had the ponderosa pine bark flaked off it, and I thought it looked like a wand. So I made a recreation of a wand.
I really like the back one.
Yeah? This one?
That's really sweet.
Yeah. It's thinking about the ponderosa pine, a burning ponderosa pine, and the image of it. But sculpture's hard, man, because I didn't study sculpture, so I'm going to keep practicing and getting better at it. And I almost think of these as I'm painting on an object. There's still, paint is a pretty big aspect of it, and that's what I'm the most comfortable with. But yeah, it'll be fun to keep exploring with sculpture. I know I was thinking about that, or different types of trees burning, or different stages of fire. I guess this is class 5.
Yeah.
Because we got Crown Fire.
Yeah. Perhaps going to class 6.
Right.
So you're in Wells for how long doing this?
For the month of July. So yeah, for a month.
Are you going to put a show on?
Yeah, hopefully at the end of the month we'll do sort of like an open studio kind of thing, or like an artist talk. So maybe just to talk a little bit more about my work. Yeah, I'm just sort of still working on this project. It's been 3 years I've been working on wildfires, and every year the project changes a little bit, or I get a little bit more interested in one aspect of it or another. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for telling us all about your wildfire work.
Yeah, no problem.